Mail for the flashback there.
All right, welcome back, backseaters.
5909.
It's been a bumpy road here today. Not a bad day. I'm just on a bumpy road on Rice Street here. There's still a lot of divots and potholes in it, but hey, I'm fresh off of training, and today there were probably about 50 of us from the sheriff's office in the training today. It was a training on statutes and case law related to use of force and use of deadly force, and duty to intercede, and trying to think, and a little bit of de-escalation stuff. So always very good to get that training updated. And our trainer today was Imran Ali from Eckberg Lammers Law Firm. Just a tremendous presenter and knows the law inside and out. Former prosecutor from Washington County, and now he does a lot of training for police officers, but he's also a
4333 Buckingham Court.
lead attorney for the Legal Defense Fund for the Minnesota Police and Peace Officers Association. So really good to hear that, and just remind ourselves how important it is that we act in a way that's professional and legal and defensible, and when we have to use force, that we use that only the force that's reasonably necessary. So I'm not going to beat it with a dead horse, but it was really good. Or beat it with a dead horse, beat it like a dead, I don't know what the saying is. So, but
copy and route.
We are southbound on Rice Street at front, right by Mama's Pizza. Someone asked me the other day if you can dine in there anymore, but I don't think you can. I still think it's all takeout. But it's been a extremely busy past few days. It's been busy in St. Paul with just general activity and a couple of significant cases, but Minneapolis got hammered over the weekend with robberies and carjackings, and actually had an incident where individuals were shot while attempting to carjack a vehicle. I don't know all the details of it, but I did see the names this morning. They are not part of our regular crews that we keep an eye on. They're a little bit older, so I will say that I know that the sheriff appreciates.
4488
Hold on. What's up, guys? Oh, that's not very nice. I'm gonna cry.
You're gonna cry, Mike?
I'm gonna cry. What's going on?
What you been on, bro?
Not much. I was in training today. Watch out, you're gonna get run down. All right, well, a nice greeting from one of our kids that's not a huge fan of the cat team, because, well, we arrest them. But he started out by saying something not very nice. I don't know if you heard it, but then he asked what I've been up to. But the traffic, there's too much traffic to sit there and talk to
Right
them.
next to that call.
But we spend a lot of time talking to these young men and develop relationships with them through our past contacts. And despite what he might have said to me when I first pulled up, those guys know that we're always there for them if they need help, if they want to get out of the lifestyle or their families are in need of help with housing or food or you name it. They know we're there.
Copy.
They're not going to admit that publicly, but they'll call us when they need help, and we can provide it for them. So that's the key. I was a little nervous I may not be able to get out today, and then we had some technical difficulties at first, but now we're out. We're on Pennsylvania, right where it meets Marion and Como, and right by the Frogtown Rec Center. There was a call earlier today of a young man that was at school with a gun at a St. Paul school. I'm not going to name the school only because it's not important, but they were able to recover the stolen firearm from the kid that had it, so that's always good. And we are back in business. I know a lot of people reached out and to wish Sheriff Fletcher happy birthday. And there's no possible way that he can return everybody's messages and calls, and so I'm just going to tell you, I know he appreciates it. It means a lot to him that people think about him, and don't feel bad. He didn't return my message either. So, but that's all right. He'd probably laugh when he saw it. But we are on Sherburne now. We're right real close to the state capitol, right by the White Castle. And you are in the state of Minnesota, in Ramsey County. We're in the city of St. Paul, and the capital city of Minnesota. And I'm Under Sheriff Mike Martin, and you are riding in the back seat of my black unmarked Chevy Tahoe. And this Live on Patrol was started a little over 3 years ago now, after the death of George Floyd, and the sheriff started live streaming his patrols at night, just to show people the kind of the inside of what we do, how we patrol, how we interact, how we decide what we're gonna do. And over time, he brought on his partner, Deputy Pat Scott, and which added some flavor to Live on Patrol, to hear the banter back and forth between those two, and their history of working together at the St. Paul PD and the city of St. Paul. I know a lot of people enjoy. And then over time, the sheriff added additional live streams. I started live streaming on Monday afternoons, and have the pleasure of taking you on a ride. And then on Wednesday afternoon, the CAT team, our carjacking and auto theft team, live streams, and the times are always variable depending on what's going on. But the CAT team, the younger deputies, will pair up and go out on Wednesdays. And then on Friday, we all go out, and whoever's working can may pop on with a camera at the time. Nicole Sparks usually comes on around midnight. I usually do some time, and then Bob and Pat are the main feature. Usually starting at 9/11 unless they post otherwise. So it's been a tremendous tool for us to educate people and show people, you know, that we're real, that we're just like everybody else. We make decisions like everybody else. We have good days and bad days, and hopefully we can entertain you some with what we do. I'll be honest with you right now, I don't know who all's out, because the CAT team were all in training with me today, and I don't know if any of them are actually out and about, or if I'm out here on my own. But of course, we work regularly with St. Paul PD and the suburban agencies in Ramsey County, and we spend most of our time looking for stolen vehicles, trying to apprehend people that are stealing cars, that are fleeing, driving crazy. Our carjackings have gone down dramatically on this side of the river, and I think a big part of that is our focused enforcement.
North Smith of United Security requesting assessment apprehending a female on scene for RAMSEY.
So I appreciate everyone who's watching from other states and from other countries. It's always fun to get messages from people in Australia, or United Kingdom, or Japan, or Wisconsin, which is kind of like another country. I just read an article, or it was based on a study, a national study of lethality, the murder rates for African American women, and I saw that the African American women nationwide are 6 times more likely than white women to be murdered. But interestingly, in Wisconsin, it said that they were 20 times more likely to be murdered than white women. And I would love to know more about what's behind that statistic, and why that is, because that's extremely high. And I know there are a lot of factors that are involved in it, socioeconomic conditions and domestic violence and a lot of other stuff, but it still just seems really unusual to me. So I'm just gonna pull over here for a second and see if I could see any other which CAT team members are signed on right now.
Copy.
It's a beautiful day here today. It's 41 degrees. It's been sunny all day. It has really been a mild winter. I see, let's see here, Thomas Siegelstrom signed on, Joe Miller signed on, Dan Gutman signed on. He's new to the Cat team, so you're all going to have to meet him at some point. Let's see who else. Nicole signed on.
2364.
Chad Milner's signed on. So we got some backup. We got some others that are signed on here.
15-year-old missing from Mountain View High School, 1900 Lake Valentine. 1620.
So there are other members of the Cat team in our intel unit that are signed on, but whether or not they're out and about, I don't know. It's a secret. So hopefully everyone got to enjoy watching the Super Bowl last night. I sure did. I had the night off and got to watch the Super Bowl with my lovely bride.
English and Fast, anonymous caller reporting a suspicious 2 juveniles first entry in patch just a minute ago. Building of the old Moose Lodge
So
building.
I'm watching these young men. You probably saw the one young man run across the street, and he approached a group of other guys that looked like they were having words, but now they seem to be going opposite directions, so that's good. Anyway, it was a great football game. I mean, it was amazing defensively how both teams
249
had strategies or schemes to defeat the strengths of the other teams. I will say, I'm probably picky, but I wasn't a big fan of the halftime show, but I think it's because all those artists were really popular when I was a young cop in Minneapolis and was working a lot, and just so it wasn't my era of music, but some people loved it. I think my wife liked it a lot. I don't know if she loved it, but she liked the music. I saw people today who said that they loved it, but I'm more of a traditional, like Prince. When Prince did the halftime show, that to me is iconic. That's epic. And even when Katy Perry did, even though I wasn't a big fan of hers, it was a big show. I'm not a big fan of multiple bands and jumping around a lot, and so Reba's national anthem was unbelievable, and
1020 as well.
so that was the lady. I had not heard of her before that sang the Black national anthem. Was unbelievable voice. So I didn't think any of the commercials were too good this year, except the one where they took a shot at the Vikings, saying they're not often invited to the Super Bowl. There was one, I'm trying to think, there was one that was kind of touching, but I can't remember now what it was for, so I don't know if it was effective.
Happy.
That's the beauty of working the city. Did you see the guy walking with his pants down around his ankles and kind of hobbling down the street? But he had another pair of pants on, so he's not violating any laws. It's just
a firearm was confiscated. She was
takes all kinds.
1632.
So we're eastbound on Maryland. We're gonna just cruise around over here on the east side for a little bit. The radio's been pretty quiet.
72, cancel 62. I go 72.
62, copy. I'll take a pending in.
Just kind of a message to people. You could, I don't mind people sending me messages
374.
on Facebook
374.
on my page, but I get so many of them
Go
that
ahead.
don't be surprised if I
744,
just read it and
Possible
don't
female on one
respond.
side of the street between Geranium and Rose, running in and out of the street, including holding a big stick and shouting. Unknown what's going on, running towards cars that drive by. All we know is she's thin, red shirt and blue jacket.
I'm gonna try to turn around here and see.
371, I'll be 10-8. You can let me know as well.
That's 371.
Affirm.
Copy. Three 76.
We're just gonna head over.
35 was an accident. Callers at 304 Wheelock.
Head over to this call of suspicious activity at Forest and Geranium.
76, copy. En route.
A lady's running out in traffic and waving a stick at cars.
Copy 67.
And St. Paul's on their way there too. But
320 over to
we're not too far away, so we'll go over there and see if there's something we can do to help.
Copy 376.
376, copy, thank you. You can leave me on.
Yes, Mike. There's parking. Copy 6904 at 1635.
So we're gonna go back westbound on Maryland here down to Forest and get in the area, and sounds like possibly someone who's a person in crisis that maybe has a mental health crisis going on, or they're intoxicated. So many of you, I'm sure, watched Live on Patrol on Friday when I had my son riding with
Code
me.
violation, pumping tires.
And
Disregard on the second.
he
Time
had
lapse
fun.
was about 20 minutes.
And at the
4 or 5
end there,
minutes.
we got a stolen vehicle that we found. They had just stolen, so it wasn't even reported yet, but we were in the area because a call, a good citizen, actually more than one, had called in and said, hey, these kids are trying to break into cars in this area. We went to the area and didn't see any kids, and all of a sudden here comes a car with no headlights on, driving down the road, and it's a Hyundai, which is one of our most stolen vehicle makes, and we got in behind it and tried to stop it, and it took off. And some people ask me, well, why did I slow down and let Darren
Bravo 264.
get in front of me? The reason being two reasons. He's got a car that's marked, that's more marked than mine for the pursuit, and I had a ride along, so I needed to be a little more careful, and so I backed off a little bit, let him take the lead, and I knew other squads were in the area, and of course St. Paul came out of the woodwork. They were over there on the call, and they came out of the woodwork to help us, and we're kind enough, although I do have an investigation going on right now, because I put my handcuffs on the passenger and I haven't seen him since. So there's a theft case going on right now with my handcuffs. And the funny part is the handcuffs that I happen to have on me last night were not the best handcuffs, or Friday night, not the best handcuffs in the world. They're like, if you went in and said, hey, give me the cheapest, most poorly built handcuffs, but that still would lock someone's hands together, these are the cuffs you would get. Definitely not the Cadillac. I don't even know if they're the Yugo of handcuffs. So we're just gonna check the area down here where this call came out and see if we see this young lady in the street. I'm gonna pull over here really quick. Let's see.
Copy phone call request. Regarding parties posting photos of caller 392 Charlie at 1640.
Thin build, red shirt, blue jacket. We kind of drove through there. I didn't see anyone like that, but we'll just kind of keep an eye out. Maybe she went inside.
There's an open door on the north side. It looks like it was potentially kicked in. There'd be an open door on the north side. $44.71. We made announcements and we can hear someone inside. Copy, can hear someone inside.
I know you can't see, but there's a school bus here at the corner letting off kids, so I'm yielding to the school bus so that it's safe for the kids to get off and cross the street.
5909.
5909.
Take a number for a shoplifter.
Copy.
And of course, as soon as it moves, another school bus comes.
5182 Tango, I'm in the area. Call back. Traffic.
All right.
4471. Do we have any additional cars around? 4453. Can you show me out?
a lady here, so I'm going to head up, I think to Maplewood, to the burglary call.
53, if you
And-
just want to hold the south side, there is, the front doors are boarded up, but there's a door on the southeast corner that is not boarded up, that is exit only. Just keep your eye on that door and the roof. And then 3-7 when you get here if you want to come to the north door. And 7-1, if we could take a time one while we're holding this. The person that is inside is not compliant with our calls to come out.
So we're going to head up that way.
Copy. Holding a 10-1 at English and Force.
They're trying to call out somebody who's inside the building. Should be an abandoned
Copy. Holding
building.
route.
And we are going to head up there.
Emails from the black Yukon. We're getting out and checking other vehicles. They slouched down when the color drove past. Give a plate of light Victor X-ray 164 was 2010. Light color. Walker, Minnesota. 64. Copy en route.
One 7-3 is GOA, I'll go.
So when it's safe, I'm going to bust across this intersection here. Just got to hit the siren there quick so that bus knows I'm coming over.
Assisted put me on a DLC at Cook Foods. Probably start a level flood my way. So I'm going for it.
So because there are already officers out there and they have a inner perimeter setup, I'm not going to be driving crazy to get there.
Squad for EOT. 333. 335. 35. 37. 39. 35.
Oh, got backseaters waving.
355. 355. 259. Spot 524.
We're gonna drive up here around Lake Phelan. A little faster, less traffic.
144. 152. 152. 152. 154. 154. Miss anyone? 157. 488. Coming to the area, I can hold that south side if it's needed.
40% confirm we need to south side.
2316, we have one in custody, we're up for.
Both of us in custody on Buckingham at 1548.
So again, we're on our way to a burglary, and they pretty much have the place surrounded. And it sounds like there are people inside. We always try to back each other up when we can.
Go ahead. Could you place my call back in pending and hold it for me? And show me 23 at the DOC at Cub Foods. Where you at in Cub Foods? On the open door. Something. Richards, white male, 6'2", heavy, red Dodge truck. Lives with mother who looks like units driven away.
So it sounds like somebody saw these guys force entry into the building here, and
371.
Clear GOA with 374.
now the squads are arriving there, and hopefully the suspects are contained inside.
Can you pen this call, hold it for us, and put us on with the fraud and forgery call at 333 Smith?
I'm gonna whip around here.
1016, every squad's clear for the moment.
Back up. Maplewood has multiple squads out here surrounding the building. I can see their officers making entry through a door, and we will sit here for a minute.
$170. Can I get my scan, please? $2581.
2581.
I'll be doing transport from Maine back to the LAC, starting mileage 09.
So as you could see, in a case like this, time is on our side. Maplewood's doing a great job. They have a perimeter around the building. They're taking their time. I'm sure they are attempting to call out anybody that's inside the building.
8 squads are still on the perimeter. We're holding for K9.
And they are holding it until they get a canine there. So, Maplewood is a suburb here of St. Paul in Ramsey County. Maplewood obviously has their own police department. Chief Beardeman is their chief. Does a great job. They have very professional cops here. And we interact with them quite frequently. I'm going to see if my camera will let me zoom in a little bit so that you can see the officer holding there. And we are on the perimeter here. That way, when if someone flees out of the building, it's our job to apprehend them. I'm not really sure how they will get past the inner perimeter that's set up here. I know you might only be able to see 1 or 2 squads, or you did, but there are, I would say now, 7 or 8 squads that are out here surrounding this building, and they're waiting for a canine to show up.
43-3, so we're going to clear the building.
Copy, clear the building.
So the officers have now gone inside. And are clearing the building. I'm just gonna leave the camera on that door only because that's the only opening that I could see. So if someone comes out, that's probably where it'll be, or on the roof.
249. 249.
We're 10-8, back off suspicious. State Street.
It's 1656.
So in cases like this, you know, there's all kinds of possibilities when people break into unoccupied or abandoned buildings. This is an old moose lodge, I believe, and the people will break in and they will steal scrap metal that they can take to a scrap yard in exchange for money. They'll look for any other valuables in there. They may break in just for the fun of it. A lot of times kids will break in and just damage property for the fun of it. And
Go ahead.
so you never really know.
Is there someone who's able to bring a jump pack to the region's ER triage for me?
We'll check.
I'm guessing because the suspects were described as juveniles. That may be the reason they didn't wait for the canine to come, because
Out on a separate theft for control of the mail.
generally, unless there's a violent crime, they won't deploy a canine with juvenile suspects. So
5909. Your code for milk custody.
And then, of course, there's always the possibility that the suspects
2581.
left the building before anybody got here.
2581.
23 at the LAC, ending mileage 10 EOT.
Have a good night. 1658.
So I'm gonna back the camera up a little bit here so you can see a little bit more of where we're at. So if you just joined, we are sitting outside on the perimeter of a burglary of an old moose lodge that's boarded up now, and some good citizens saw a couple juveniles breaking into it, and the officers from the Maplewood Police Department are inside right now trying to
7610 Woodland Drive, Unit 4, assisting medics, 36-year-old female,
apprehend those
constant
juveniles.
breathing, intentionally overdosed on insulin, and is violent. Before copy. Collision under.
We copy, thank you.
And that's 2518, not 2517.
That.
I backed it off just a little bit more so that you could see a little more of the building and the squads. To the right, there's two squads. You can only see one, I think. There are squads on the south side of the building.
Correct. 275.
And on the north side as well.
When we get to the end.
Case number 025660.
I can tell you,
I'll be on that medical as well.
time after time I've been on these calls when you think, oh, they're in there looking for them, nobody's in there, and you're sitting around and it's been a while, then all of a sudden, bam, they find someone inside, or someone runs out, or climbs up on the roof, and now you have an active scene. So that's why we sit back here on the perimeter until everything's good.
267, you're en route to the suspicious call. Unoccupied vehicle that the caller was following their daughter a couple days ago. That's how much it goes.
2360, Selena, copy car to car. ED, Bryce Park.
That's how much you want. But 267, I'm going to take you off the call for just a second to switch your district, your login.
Hey.
1703.
You can tell it's getting to be closer to springtime because it's staying light out later. It's 5:02 here right now, and it's still pretty much light out.
173.
And every day the days just keep getting a little longer as the sun moves closer. I don't know where. I should have paid attention in astronomy class, but I think the sun gets closer to the equator, and that's why the sun's more overhead.
Bravo 439 EOT.
1704.
Bravo 172 EOT.
Good night, 1704.
I know people may think, hey, this is a relatively small building. Why is it taking so long? Well, some of these buildings have nooks and crannies everywhere. They check up in the ceiling. If there's a basement, they will have to check the basement. You really have to look everywhere. And that's why when you have the option of a canine, it's very helpful. But
5183 Tango Dick harassment.
Copy, 1705.
So Tracy says the northern part of the earth starts to tilt more towards the sun in the spring and summer. So I'm going to go with Tracy.
178 Tango, 38 pending.
That sounds like a good explanation to me. So Tracy wins the Nobel Science Prize from Live on Patrol.
Send you the AOA.
And like I said, next time maybe I'll pay attention in school.
Let's go again.
A lot of people ask what it takes to become a cop in Minnesota. Generally, you have to have a 2 or a 4-year degree. In really a 4-year degree in anything. I think the 2-year degree might have to be criminal justice, but there are specific law enforcement classes that you have to take on constitutional law and the history of criminal justice and policing, and classes on our state statutes and tactical issues. But once you have that 2 or 4-year degree, then you go to a state skills program, which is 3 months long, where you learn the driving, shooting, handcuffing, defensive tactics, and more intense all of our state statutes and applicable case law. And then after that, you take a post test, a Peace Officer Standards and Training board test, And if you pass that test, then you become eligible to be licensed in the state. You're not actually licensed until you are hired by an agency. So that agency hires you, they sponsor your license, and then you can be a police officer, sheriff's deputy, conservation officer, etc. And then most agencies will put you through their own academy. It just depends on the size of the agency, as well as the
I'm holding it, Emma.
like a rural agency that's only got a couple officers. They may just train you on the job, but an agency like St. Paul or Minneapolis or the State Patrol will put you through their own academy. Many of you know that I was a Minneapolis police officer before I came over to Ramsey County, and I spent
173.
173.
I did a 12-week academy at the end, which is what they would do now before you hit the street. Then a 5-month field training officer program.
How about you, team? Have a good night.
And I was actually a non-traditional law enforcement student. I know that might surprise a few people, and
264 Tango, you're
but
out front.
I had a 4-year degree from the University of Minnesota, a bachelor's in economics, and I know this is going to surprise you, but there aren't a lot of economist jobs out there. And I worked for a food broker, buying and selling meat products for a while. I worked doing some lobbying for businesses in rural areas for a while. And then I decided I wanted to be a cop. And after going on a ride along, and so I went back to school to get to start getting the classes I needed, but I joined the Minneapolis Police Cadet Program. And that's a 9-month program where they put you through, if you had a 4-year degree, they put you through the 3 months of classroom you needed, 3 months of the Skills Academy, and then 3 months of the Minneapolis Police Academy. So, and then later I went back to school and got my master's from the University of St. Thomas in police leadership, education, and administration. And there we go. So I did 25 years. I did 2 years with the airport police department. While I was going to school, I did, as a community service officer, I did 25 years with the Minneapolis Police Department.
37 Street, Minnesota plate.
And
Romeo Victor.
Retired from there. And then when Bob Fletcher was elected sheriff again in Ramsey County, he asked me to come work for him, which I was glad to do, happy to do. And I've been here now. For five years, I think. Yeah, 5 years. So.
Can you please take me off the board? I'll be clear. 06 and 24 are still out.
Okay, 1712.
Someone asked me what got me into gangs. Gangs was my specialty at Minneapolis. I still am very involved in gang investigations. As a patrol officer, relatively new, I got assigned to a car that worked high crime areas in Minneapolis, and I found out quickly that the gangs were driving the violence and the narcotics trafficking, and so I started documenting the individuals and the gangs and their signs and symbols and what they were doing and making arrests and sending that info downtown. And I was eventually asked to come down to the gang unit in Minneapolis, and I served there as a officer investigator for 3 years, then got promoted to sergeant and supervised the gang unit for another 3 years before I got promoted to lieutenant and eventually captain, where I ran all the investigative units, and all of that kept me involved in gang stuff. And
Clear and advise with 376.
I still testify as an expert witness in court on gang cases, although there hasn't been much prosecution of that lately. I have done some in other states, and I'm still the president of the Midwest Gang Investigators Association here in Minnesota and the national vice president, so just really involved in that. I'm seeing the
Can you put me on 384
Maplewood officers are coming out of the building.
Copy. And this one was advised?
Yes.
Thank you.
And it looks like they must not have found anyone inside, and now they're clearing.
Copy.
Hello to the people in the black Lincoln.
5281 arriving.
So one of the things I found,
Fled from this vehicle, cell phone on foot.
You're wearing a hat, sunglasses.
Hat, sunglasses. White female, probably about 30, 40 years old.
quickly, they're
Copy. Female fled from the vehicle.
clearing now the building here in the perimeter, so I'm just going to go back into service and
9273, 9275.
see what we got here. I thought I heard one of our cars call out. They had someone flee from a traffic stop, but I may not have heard it right.
A juvenile incident at the Speedway at 2055 County Road E Echo. 3 black stole other juvenile's bike, left eastbound on County Road E. One was wearing a red hoodie, the other was wearing black hoodie. One of the males were also wearing a ski mask.
So the good thing is, apparently nobody was still inside and everybody's safe, and they're gonna secure the building and go back into service.
We're going southbound Frank now.
Copy, southbound Frank.
312, we're gonna be in the alley going eastbound.
Alley eastbound.
10-3, they're bailing.
Copy, bailing. And what was the reason for this stop?
312 is a carjacked vehicle. Black female passenger with a red tourniquet exited the vehicle. Driver's still in. We're going northbound, or disregard, eastbound on Hawthorne from the Little Hill traffic, speed 25.
Copy, mouse copy.
So we're headed down.
Copy, starting flight. We have a dog.
There they have a carjacked vehicle that they are
cutting through the parkway. They're going to go east eastbound on the Parkway.
Eastbound on the Parkway. Game 4. Carjacking vehicle. This way.
So their St. Paul East squads are following a vehicle that was involved. They're pursuing a vehicle that was involved in a
Where was the
carjacking.
carjacking? What's the time frame? It looks like it was within 24 hours, but gun was only implied not to be terminating.
What I use plate is the Wisconsin plate 592 Lima Charlie Echo.
Just notify me what I terminated.
Copy. Terminating, we're already on it. Checking the site.
I'm still gonna head to that area. St. Paul is terminating their.
From Arlington, St. Paul is determinating.
9-2, you can go in AOA. I'm Frost English officer inside here.
Copy.
I'm gonna whip around on it.
Maple with it. There's only one occupant left in the vehicle. Go back around where they should drop off the test.
One occupant left. We're already letting Maplewood know. We're working on your chopper. And the one that failed was at the Black Team turn.
Paper, I can give you the address when I get there, but the house we always respond to for domestic incident.
Copy that.
$20.07. Gosh.
Copy. 4492 looks like it's an escape gray color.
No.
$20.07. That vehicle just passed me. It's eastbound from Prosperity on Larpenter. Very high rate of speed. I had turned around on it. I no longer have sight on it.
Copy, last seen on Prosperity on Larpenter at high rate of speed.
I believe it continued eastbound on Larpenter from White Bear.
Copy.
All right, well, the car went the other way. I didn't immediately recognize it, but then I saw the license plate. I saw the car coming at a high rate of speed. And by the time I was able to turn around, it was out of my sight. So I think it would have gotten stuck here at the intersection if it didn't go straight.
312, I'll be out with the female at Maryland and Duluth.
So I'm just going to check the area. You probably saw a Maplewood squad go eastbound.
Straight from the blockhouse.
Past me, so
3843 Cold Maryland, Duluth.
we'll just keep going this way. Looking for it for a minute.
What's for 50 coming?
Copy, running from Maryland and Duluth.
Maryland Duluth.
So the female who bailed out of the car, they're now foot chasing her down at Maryland and Duluth. But I want to go
Code 4, Maryland Duluth gas station.
in here and see if the car might have come into this lot.
376. Does county still have eyes on this car? There was an assault involved in it. I don't know if there's injuries or if anybody's reaching out to Minneapolis to see the level. They lost it when he turned on it. That was the last seen location.
I mean, can we get medics to Maryland Duluth just for RA follow-up?
Copy. Are they cleared in?
So that car's not in this lot. So we'll go further eastbound here.
From my location to the LEC, starting mileage 88 right now.
Copy LEC 1724.
$312.
Part of the problem when you lose sight of a vehicle like this is the
Copy.
it could be tucked in anywhere. They may
Get on
have
the vehicle.
abandoned it, especially when there's only one person left in
Looking
it.
at the
They're
rally.
likely gonna just park it somewhere.
375, we found the vehicle unoccupied. Pizza Hut, Larpenter, and White Bear.
Copy, you're gonna want to throw around this. 312. Were you able to identify the driver at all?
Negative. It was a black male. That's all I got. I'll see if the passenger will give up the name.
Jesus fucking
44,
Christ.
56. Copy.
92, show me out White Bear and Harp. It's the same call I haven't driven through before that.
Copy. Take care of that.
Son of a bitch. Son of
Hostiles open.
son of a gun.
9271. You paid White Bear Medics to our people.
I know. It flew by me so fast, I couldn't even see. And I wasn't, because I thought they had said it was black. And then, but I saw the plate, and I was like, fuck. Then, of course, there's some idiot in the way, so I can't do a U-turn.
I don't have clothing or anything, but
So,
the female in my car is saying the driver's name is.
all right. Well, good job.
Is what? Can you use phonetic?
Well, it'd be nice to have a, description or something. But
What?
170 Tango RAMSEY.
New message.
Cancel anything coming here, bud.
so we got the car here, but it's unoccupied. I'm live, by the way. So, all right, you guys are gonna tow it? All right. Cool.
Thank you, sir.
Thanks. Appreciate it, guys. Another great job by St. Paul PD, who came up to the area. There's the car right there. When it flew by me, I wasn't sure, but then I saw the plate, and but it was going so fast. By the time I could safely turn around, it was gone. But they dumped it there in the Pizza Hut lot, which
Another caller saying she was also involved. then at the front and just fine.
We are. Mail looks like he's on Android.
So the good thing is we got the car. The St. Paul officers found it there right where I lost sight of it, and of course I didn't see it when I went by, but their young eyes did. So great job by them. Great job by the officers that went back and got the female that bailed out of the car. Hopefully she will be able to provide some useful information. And
To confirm, our medics needed for, is it related to your dangerous condition?
Your incident has been updated.
Related to the DWI, we just need a blood drill.
Copy.
Your incident has been updated.
so it was, as I said, great work by St. Paul PD, and now Maplewood's out here also. We didn't have a good description of the driver, so which makes it hard to see. I'm gonna
disorderly homeless male littering in front of the address, refusing to leave. White male in his 36 foot.
actually end the live stream now, just so that I can go back and look at the video and see if I could see what the driver looked like as she went by. Or supposedly it was it might have been a male.
Your
So
incident has been updated.
Ready for 20. 14. A suspicious
Your
at
incident has
223
been
Lafayette
updated.
Avenue East. Caller witnessed a white
So
male
I
in two
appreciate
backpacks
everyone
out of the
hanging
vehicle
with me,
towards the apartment
but
building.
gotta get
Vehicle
this.
is a black Toyota SUV. It is a St. Paul stolen. Plate is November Tango 390.
Gotta try to get this
It is a
video back so that I can see if we can ID the driver here.
Ready for 20, copy.
Your incident has
So
been updated.
have a good night. I'll probably see you Friday night.